All right, welcome back to Last Line News. It's a podcast show, Bruce. Ella, you're welcome.
Thank you. Good morning.
Why are you acting very quiet?
Well, I'm mourning for the country.
Really? Country dead?
Economically,
Okay.
and then in terms of, have you traveled on any of our roads lately from here to Benin?
No.
So you feel it's sober. It's pathetic.
But no, my Ella, you are looking very good.
Oh, thank you.
Looking like ever.
Thank you. All right.
Looking good.
Okay, now let's go back to the Senate and talk about Natasha and the Senate spokesman, Senator Adaramola, if I call it correctly. Adaramola. He said that all that Natasha is doing is just a show. Philip.
Yes, I can't help but to agree with the Senate spokesperson. The reason is obvious.
First of all, let me redirect my question.
Yes.
I want you to take it from this area. All the show we see at the Senate, is it necessary? Both from the Senate leadership and Natasha, because the victims here are Nigerians.
Well, it might not be necessary, but on the issue before us, because there's this word common to everyone that he who must come to equity must come with clean hands.
Yes.
If you are saying that you have a judgment that you need to enforce, and the enforcement is for you to resume sitting at the Senate, at the floor of the Senate, and you have appeal part of the judgment, you don't agree with the entire judgment, you went on appeal. It is proper that you wait for the entire process
to be completed.
Exactly. So where you said that is selective justice. You take part, and you said some part is not good. I mean, see, and then as a fact that you cannot eat your cake and have it. You know that you have appealed the judgment, and you say you are resuming. That means you are enforcing the judgment, and the best way you feel you want to enforce the judgment is to march to the National Assembly with your supporters. Before now, I ask you the question: did any senators are coming to work to resume their work? Do they come to the National Assembly with their supporters and with activists to resume work? The answer is no. So why will Natasha's case be different? Why would you want to come to the National Assembly with activists and supporters to resume duty? Is that part of what the law requires? I see. You see, the truth remains that when you have a good case, you don't destroy it with your own hand. If Natasha felt that the Nigerian citizens, whom the Senate is being deprived, to help her actualize her right and her goal, it should have taken the judgment the way it is and mobilized the masses and enforce the judgment the way it is. Let the Senate be the one that will be at the receiving end. But what she had done so far, she had given room for the Senate to hide under the pretense that she has appealed the judgment. So that really speaks against her interest in this matter.
Senator Natasha, the House as well, they are taking Nigerians for granted. Or we on this table we talk about the law. I don't know if you understand, and we want to follow the law. There's a case that's been decided. She has appealed the case, as well as even the House as well.
The Senate.
The Senate, or will I say the Senate now, or Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan, or I don't know which of them, but any of them has also appealed the case. Now, until appeal is done, I don't know too well on this. The local standing is still the same. Am I correct?
Yes.
Why did she march yesterday to the Senate with supporters?
He has said it all. You see, somehow, you can't eat your cake and have it like he has rightly said. If you say you are not in agreement with the whole judgment passed by a particular court, and you appeal part of this judgment, I think morally you should have weight, because the appeal is to yet another court. All right, that means to interpret or to correct what you think is not okay. So you shouldn't pick what you think you are very comfortable with and then decide that has to be served. I feel she has her reasons. Maybe she felt she's been. I feel bad because, of course, she's my senator, and it's one of the senators from my state. She should have maybe looked into the whole judgment. Hence, she's comfortable with some conditions in the judgment given. The other part of the judgment was for her to give public, apologies, to the National Assembly and pay some little fine for content or whatever.
5 million naira.
5 million, which of course is nothing compared to the resources used to even appear before the Senate. Before the Senate, yes, the mobilization of her supporters, the activists and whatever. They could have gathered this money if she didn't have it. And I know she has more than enough of that money. So I don't know what she also wants. If you appeal some parts of the conditions of the judgment, you should have waited for the court to interpret and correct what you actually wanted, rather than appearing before, the Senate. But then the Senate spokesperson should have also taken his time. Hence, he went on national television to have to have explained to Nigerians, rather than saying that the court judgment she's trying to act upon is like a script, like a joke, and is not taken seriously. To people who do not have the understanding, it might look as if our courts, our judiciary judgment should not even be respected again.
Right.
The way some of us may look at it.
Okay, now, most of the things we are looking at, we are talking about the Nigerian that works. That's basically what we are looking at. Now, from the side of the Senate, they are not looking at it that way, the Nigerian that works for everybody. From the side of Natasha, also, it looks like that. Couldn't they have shelved their sword and allowed things to go on and everybody, which was the egoistic fight that we are seeing at the Senate, that now has to turn to what Fayemi said, that they are entertainers on social media?
Very well. We have said it on this table. I think it was you that said it, that Mr. President had done very well in Rivers State by settling Wike and Fubara in respect of the political, discontent between the godson and godfather. Yeah. That the president should be magnanimous enough to call Akpabio to let go of all of this. But the issue here, my pains here is that Natasha, that has been celebrated by Nigeria as a hero, is not trying to, in fact, she has fallen into the hands of his adversary. Because if you have a good case and you take a wrong step, you succeeded in playing into the hands of your adversary. Now, a judgment is given that every Nigerian, whether legal-minded or not, see that this judgment is the worst judgment in respect of this matter. That were precedents, even in recent time, the case of Omar Gega against the Senate, the case of Ali Udume against the Senate, they are just within us, that the court do not follow the precedent. This is a good position of Natasha. If he has chosen to appeal, and she has appealed on the grounds of all of this, she should have waited for the course to take its full course. But
what would you, if you're in the position, what would you have advised that she do? Appeal or not appeal?
You see, she had a legal team.
Yes.
And she said she was going to, in that yesterday, said she was going to go back to her legal team.
Yeah.
It's sad, because you were supposed to
do that.
Exactly. Exploit that option with your legal team. Is it right for me to go protest after I have appeal? Or should I appeal to the public court, which would be the first thing you should have gone appeal?
Yeah. See,
you have appealed to court of law, and you are not trying to appeal to a public court. Which of them has power? Which of them is superior?
The court.
And the Senate spokesperson said that, look, she has appealed. Her suspension will expire within 6 months, and we are going on recess. We are to resume in 2 months' time, so we cannot do anything about her resumption until the Senate resume from recess. And again, that the matter is in appeal. So whether the Senate resume or not, the court will have to exhaust the process of the court before we can even talk about her resumption, which was some of the issues I've raised here before, that should have just been patient and wait out the suspension, or apply a political solution, or what have you. I think she's just compounding her issues.
Now, we just talked about Mr. President. We've not seen the magnanimity of the president calling off the state of emergency in Rivers, We thought that by now they should have done that. We don't know if there's going to be an extension. Because if there's an administrator, I'm just trying to wade into that a little bit. The administrator should not be doing a lot of the things he's doing now, appointing this, appointing that, Now, the same with the Senate. There's problem at the executive, there's problem at the legislature. Why all these issues? Does it help our democracy?
How can it help our democracy when the people elected have time frame to which they should deliver what they were elected to deliver, to work on? Like you just mentioned, it's not helping our democracy. And it take my mind back to where Natasha is coming from. You are talking of being suspended for 6 months, that your people have been shortlisted in the National Assembly, all right? A judge courtment has been given in your favor, the way I look at it. Rather than as discussing with your legal team, as you said you are going back to, and accepting this judgment, I think the major thing there is the payment of the 5 million and as public apology.
Nigerians generally looked at it as a victory for Natasha at the courts. Do you understand? Not minding the 5 million naira and the 2 publication and Facebook apology. Why did she not take it?
Well, she's human, and no human being is perfect. She's not God. But like she just mentioned yesterday that she was going to go back to consult with her legal team. She should have done that in the first place, because she knew before she went to the National Assembly, and that was why she went with her supporters and then some people who are fighting for justice. All right? She knew she would likely not be allowed into the National Assembly. So why go in there? Why didn't you take the judgment the way it's been given, if your legal team has kind of looked into it and feel it won't have future problems for you and whatever? So I think the problem we have with people in public offices today, and like you just rightly asked, is that they do not really sit down to think the effect of their actions on the people who elect them to represent them. That's just the problem. Like you mentioned the issue of Rivers State. You have called the godfather, supposed godfather, and the governor. They have an agreement, a settlement between them. It was pronouncement that brought about the sole administration.
Yeah.
And you brought him because you feel that these 2 persons are fighting and the fight could. The grand, the elephant now. 2 elephants fight the grand. The grand is the people of Rivers State. If they have come to agreement and they've settled, why didn't you make the same pronouncement and now say, okay, fine, you were taking this place, you were giving this place as a caretaker to hold on why the crisis was there. Now that they've reinstalled back the governor, there's nothing wrong in bringing back the governor even before the 6 months of suspension. I don't think it's against the law. So I think our political office holders are not really thinking about the effects of their actions on the people, and that is rather unfortunate.
I wanted to talk on we've already seen the part of where we think that Senator Natasha is making mistakes. And it's always of my opinion that we come from the front to go to the back. We're supposed to go from the back to the front. Nigerian law or Nigerian police, they do that. They don't investigate issue, they arrest, they now start investigation. Most of the time, most of the financial crimes are supposed to be investigated before these things start. Now, Natasha did not do that on the part of the leadership of the Senate. Can they do better? And make sure this case is not nonsense case.
It's rather unfortunate that the Senate leadership is taking this route. In as much as Natasha had played into their hand,
yes,
it doesn't tell well of the 10th Senate. It adds more injury more so to the injury already being experienced by Nigerians as per what the 10th Senate is doing to them. The 10th Senate leadership have done a lot of harm to the entire Nigerian citizenry. But this particular injustice being done to Kogi Central is becoming alarming.
Not to even Natasha.
Yes, because I don't want to see Natasha in the picture.
Yes.
It's the Kogi Central District.
Because
you said the Senate, I'm quoting the Senate spokesperson. He said she can't resume. What he's doing is more like it's a drama.
Yeah.
He's trying to, with their supporters, to attract followers, and that the Senate is going on recess. We're coming back in 2 months, and we cannot even talk about the issue of resumption until we come back from recess. Having said that, he went further to say that, if aside other than that, the matter is on appeal. What they pretend is that if the appeal remain till the rest part of the life of the Senate, so be it for the Kogi Central District. There will be no representation of this person. Granted that if Natasha get her judgment tomorrow after the 10th assembly, she can still get her remuneration and everything. So the people that really will suffer is the Kogi Central people. Because if he finally get judgment, even at the Supreme Court that the action was wrong and all that, the court ordered that she should be paid all her remuneration and everything, and entitlement and all that. She still go home with what she is entitled to. But who loses? The Kogi Central people. So I want to appeal to the Senate leadership that yes, they are the mighty, the high and the mighty. Yeah. They should temper justice with justice with mercy in the issue of the Kogi Central. I'm not talking about Natasha. They should think of the people of Kogi Central and not Natasha, so that their voice could be heard in the issue in the discussion of matters that affect the nation.
We normally say that you don't beat a child and throw away both the child and the water. What you do is that after beating the child, you remove the child and you can throw away the water. And that's what democracy is all about. Everybody has a voice, but it's the voice of most of the people that spoke that gets their way. We want it to work in Nigeria so that it can serve everybody. We'll be right back on Landslide Podcast.